So the XXX is an elusive, old school, super slicey boat that a lot of people are looking to get into, but they are notoriously hard to get into and super uncomfortable. Today's a cold, snowy, nasty day. We've got colds. I just want to basically make chili and have a project. So as long as I'm retrofitting one of these, I figured I'd make a video. And yeah, enjoy. So first of all, if you're cold, they're cold. Bring them inside. Not only is it going to be more pleasant to work on, but all of your adhesives and stuff like that are actually going to work. And because you're not rushing, you'll do better work. So here we go. Outfitting is basically as it was in the 90s with typical bomber gear upgrade back band. So here's the cockpit once we get that massive thigh hook out. The reason that was so big is actually spelled out right here. This sticker is telling you that they have a small size for small paddlers, a large for large paddlers. And right here, there's an S stamped in, which is telling me that this is indeed the small size. To pull it out, there's 2 seat bolts here and then a small screw there. That on both sides is what pins that whole thing in. Now, one thing that's concerning is that it's also what's holding the front pillar in. So I'll need to shim or something to make this tight again once I'm all done. I'm going to try to retrofit in a modern contour thigh hook just because it's kind of similar and it's something I've had a lot of success with in the past. Plenty of people do paddle these with no thigh hook at all. That's also an option, or just carving and gluing in foam. I like doing this because then it gives me a place for my backband ratchets to go and it's just super sturdy. The problem I'm having is that this back slot is going to have to go into the front seat bolt hole and I'm going to have to do some heating and shaping to kind of make it go in, but we'll sort that out. All right, so first side's in, all bolted up, everything works, seems solid. Let's show you how I did it. First thing we're gonna do is pull this screw completely out, and this one about 1/4 inch. Now we're gonna take the thigh hook, shove it under so that the slot is lining up with the hole, and see what our clearance is. Mine has not been fitting, so I'm going to show you how I'm getting around that. So thigh hook is rough fit in, and if you look there, I can see that I'm not going through into the inside of the boat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this slot and widen it out. So I can see all the way through into the boat now. That slot is wide enough. I'm going to go ahead, reinstall this, tighten both all the way, and then I'm going to worry about how I'm going to pin this front guy in. So now I'm pinned on the seat, but I need to get this guy back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wedge this into place, pull it so the bottom is as flat to that surface as possible. Then with the correct drill bit, drill through, and I can use the original hardware to pin it in place. So I want to preserve the look of this vintage bomber gear backband because it's just perfect. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is this. Instead of routing through to a stopper on the front of the seat, I could route this in the back here where there's an actual gap and run the ratchet inside back there. This might take a slightly smaller ratchet, or I might have to trim the front off so it's not all goofy up here, but it looks like that should just go straight around and be a really quick modification. So your best plan is to put the back band in and risk it being too loose. In this case it was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach my finger in, pull the strap out, and then when I loosen this, I can pull so that the ratchet is facing out, and that way I don't have to reset everything again. Nice and easy. So on both sides, to tighten this up, I'm leaving the original holes, and I just pop 2 new ones in about 1 inch apart, which is going to let me double over and pop a screw through. Just burn them again and reassemble. So hard part's done. Just quickly threw in some hip pads and a seat pad just to buff it out and get some of the ergonomics in place before I pull the front pillar and the foam block and try to bring that back a couple inches because it's nowhere close. Turns out that the front pillar comes down, ends about here, and then these were kind of wedged up in there. Not really sure what combination of chopped off pillar and stuff carved or made to fit up there this is, but what we're going to wind up doing is just taking some old Jackson shims and kind of blocking it out and bringing everything back further. For whatever reason, on this side, it's just not staying pinned. So we're going to come over here and just drill straight through, ignore the pre-drilled holes, and just pin it in place and do that on both sides. Call it a day. Yeah, bingo. Perfect fit. Alright, so that's it. We replaced everything in there but the seat, and I really don't think this is a candidate for a Contour seat replacement because it's going to throw you up a little high, and this is already slicey enough, but hey, maybe someone will try it. If you do, let me know. The only thing that I haven't done in this boat, which I think I'm going to do a separate video, is I'm going to show how to properly permanently affix hip shims in like these where they only have a top strap, by permanently mounting Velcro into the seat. So, if you enjoyed that, hit like, and see you on the next one.